Hi folks, welcome to Inktober day 13. Today's prompt is Psyche and let's get into it. Psyche's story is another one where gods and mortals meet and the results are they're not great for either party, generally speaking. So Psyche is a mortal woman who possesses great beauty. This seems to be a theme, doesn't it? And she's so beautiful that she intimidates everybody, so nobody wants to marry her. So her father goes and asks the Oracle of Delphi what he should do, and he says, well, basically you should Apollo, who is the Oracle of Delphi, says that he should abandon his daughter on a cliff top, and there a great monster will come and take her away, and then his life will be better and the lives of the rest of his family. So he does that. Great father. And so Psyche is abandoned on this cliff top, and then she hears a voice and is squirreled away to a palace which seems to be very lavish and beautiful, and at night there's no light, and she's visited by this invisible, well, she can't see him because it's dark, so she's visited by this being, and he's fallen in love with her, she falls in love with him, and so they would live happily ever after, except that he tells her that she can never set eyes on him. And it's a little bit like the story of Pandora, in that Psyche is obviously very, very curious about who this person is that she is spending her nights with. And one day she decides to take a sneaky peek, and so this is what I've illustrated here. It's the moment where she's taken the candle and she's looking around onto the body of her sleeping lover, and it turns out that her lover is Eros, or Cupid, the god of love and desire, who is the son of Aphrodite. And that is the moment that he wakes up and says, no, you've broken my trust, and so we can never be together. And the story does continue from there, but this is the moment I wanted to capture. There are different versions of this story, and I've heard it where she has jealous sisters, and she tells of this beautiful lover, but she can't actually describe him physically, and so she wants to be able to describe him to her sisters, and that's why she has a look. But yeah, there are different versions, as there generally are in mythology, and yeah, this is quite compelling because there's always that sort of that forbidden love, or that forbiddenness, and good old human beings, usually women, end up making the mistake of being too curious and then losing what they have. Which seems to be a bit of a theme in Greek mythology. And I've greatly simplified this, but there are some great videos online about the story that will take you through it. The other one I would recommend is Stephen Fry's book Mythology, which has a whole lot of retellings of stories from Greek mythology, and done with Stephen Fry's general wit and just love for the mythology. So I'd really recommend that. I haven't yet read his second one, which is Heroes, but I've heard good things, so probably I should be listening to the audiobook of that while I do these, but instead I've been completely head over heels in The Secret Commonwealth, which is the second book of Dust by Philip Pullman. And also I've gone back and reread his Dark Materials because I finished The Secret Commonwealth and just wanted to spend more time in that world And so I've been thinking quite a lot about that recently, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot of mythology in that as well, and there are a lot of parallels that I could go into if this wasn't supposed to be a sort of 8-minute long video. Anyway, I should talk a little bit about the piece itself. I decided not to make Psyche too slim. I've given her a little bit of a double chin there, and made her a bit curvier than the reference picture I was using. The reference picture was a contemporary photograph, but I've changed it so much that I don't think you'd be able to recognize it as the same thing. But it was useful to have a reference for that pose. And yeah, I decided to make her a redhead and give her lots of freckles, because I'm loving drawing these freckles. I did some on Demeter and thought that looked pretty great. So this whole piece has a very pattern-like sort of cohesive feel to it, because there are lots of dots all over it in her hair, and obviously the light, and I wanted to do the light in an interesting way. And you'll see in a moment, I actually decided to go back in and add a bit more oomph to the dots, and just make it seem more glowing, like there's more light coming from it, because at this point it didn't feel like there was enough really. But yeah, here you are seeing me adding all these extra details, which really bring a lot of life into it. Now the question is, did I get this on video? Yes, I did. Here I am. Okay, so I'm going back in here and adding all these extra dots, which makes a huge difference. I think you'll see that it really brightens it up and makes it look much more like a light source, because you've got much lighter colours on her face than you have on the rest of her body, and I really wanted that sense of a cast shadow. I could have probably gone even further with the light source and made it even more dramatic, but I'm not quite confident enough using Copic markers to do that just yet. So this had to do. But to get that real chiaroscuro is the sort of technical art term, real contrast between dark and light. So there we go. And I do think that the little dots in her hair made a lot of difference as well. Just, you know, having some pearls in there makes it feel very lush, like she was being truly spoiled by Eros or Cupid while she was in his care. So yeah, that was the story of Eros and Psyche. And yeah, tomorrow's prompt is Narcissus, which I'm quite looking forward to narrating. I've already finished the piece, so hopefully you enjoy that too, and come back tomorrow. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.